In this video, we will have a look to advanced BGP configuration. So let's start with BGP route summarization. That is a technique used to aggregate multiple IP routes into a single summarized route. Here the purpose is reducing the number of routes advertised to BGP peers and decreasing the size of routing table and improving the routing efficiency. So instead of advertising multiple specific prefixes, BGP advertises a single summarized prefix that covers all the specific prefixes in this case. And this reduces the routing table size and simplifies the routing. So how I can configure the BGP route summarization? Let's have a look. Here in router 4, first of all, I'm typing a show IP BGP. By the way, router 4 is the router in here, and I'm able to see like a bunch of routes coming from router 1 and router 2 is advertised to router 4, and that is the BGP table of router 4. Okay, then I'm going ahead and typing an aggregate address command, which helps me to summarize the routes for router 4. So when I'm advertising the routes from router 3 to router 4, they will be summarized with this network ID and this subnet mask. Okay, after doing the route summarization in router 3, if I go ahead and type show IP BGP command within router 4, I will still see all of those subnets from 0 till 7, but on top of that I will see one summary route. You could see that the subnet mask is /21, same like in here what I configured, with the same next hop. So you will be able to see that now all these networks are still being advertised, and on top of that there is a summary route being advertised from router 3 to router 4. And there is another method that I can achieve it. Okay, so BGP summarization, summary only. That is a method of route summarization where only the summarized route is advertised this time. Okay, so again, let's have a look. I'm typing show IP BGP in router 4 and I'm seeing all those subnets. This time, the configuration on router 3, I am doing like aggregate address. Again, I'm putting my subnet followed with summary only keyword. That is the key differentiator. This time, when I type the show IP BGP command once again in router 4, instead of seeing each and every prefix, I am only seeing the route which is the summarized route. And we have the BGP communities. So BGP community feature allows routers to tag the routes and filtering them using that labels. In this respect, routes act like a community rather than a single route. So the community feature is an optional and switchable feature. If a router does not understand the concepts of community, it passes these concepts to the next router. So there are 4 well-known community features which make use of the previously defined community settings. The internet promotes the relevant route to the internet and other related routers. No export does not send relevant routes to the eBGP neighbors. No advertise does not send the related route to any neighbors, and local AS does not send the relevant route outside the local AS. Here how a configuration example looks like for BGP communities. Okay, in my topology I have 4 different routers, router 1, 2, 3 and 4, and router 1 is advertising this 100 subnet and the 200 subnet to the rest of the network. So let's think of a scenario like this. Router 1 will go ahead and advertise both 100 and 200 to router 2 still. When these routes received on router 2, I want router 2 to advertise the 100 subnet, for example, to router 3, but I don't want router 3 to advertise this 100 subnet to router 4. How can I achieve it? First of all, on router 2, I'm going ahead and defining one prefix list. IP prefix list, permit, and I am matching this prefix, this same 100 prefix that router 1 is advertising to the network. Then I'm going ahead and defining one route map, and this is my name of the route map, which is matching the prefix list that I defined in here, and I am setting a no export community for this prefix. So when a route is tagged with the no export community, it signals to other BGP routers that the route should not be advertised beyond the local autonomous systems or within certain specified boundaries. Okay, so essentially it helps control the propagation of routing information and can prevent a route from being shared with external peers. Okay, so then the configuration continues like this. I'm going ahead and defining another route map to allow anything else, and then I'm going into my BGP router mode, router BGP 20, while I am establishing my neighborship with 23.2, which is router 3, route map, this route map that I created will be applied on outbound direction, and neighbor router 3 send community keyword. Okay, so then if I go ahead in router 3 and type the show IP BGP for that particular prefix, I'm going to see that no export community is applied on that, and the end result will be when I go ahead and check it out on router 4 by show IP BGP, I will see the 200 subnets still coming from router 1, but I won't see anything related to 100 subnet. Alright guys, so the last thing that we will talk about in this section is the propagating a default route with BGP. So BGP default route is a command used to propagate a default route to BGP peers. So it ensures that a default route is advertised to BGP peers even if the local router does not have a default route in its routing table. So how I am configuring it, pretty much basic. I'm going to the router BGP mode, and when I'm configuring my neighbor, I'm typing only the default originate command right after the neighbor IP address. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this session as well, and thank you so much for listening to me.